It's got to go somewhere, don't it?
It does. And actually, at the beginning of the year, as I was looking at taking my continual education credits, I'm deciding to switch what I'm doing with it because you see a new way to contribute. Um, that might be helpful.
Where'd the idea of the show come from?
Well, the original idea. So this show it's a mixture of new. It's new, but it's based on something I did in the past. So
Okay.
in the past, I worked on two different podcasts. This was in the late 2000s, early 2010s, or 20 teens. Of one was a board gaming podcast, and that was awesome. The other one was on um, basically individuality and authenticity
Yeah.
and contribution.
Yeah.
And as everything's been happening since 2016, and I'm not saying that this is uh, because of the political landscape, but it's also because of the political landscape.
Yeah.
Um, people have been nudging me to go back to that, and I'm like, oh great, with social media going the way we don't need another white male millennial in front of a microphone for a podcast. And so I kept fighting it, and I was like, I just don't want to, you know I want to work one-on-one with people. I want to do, and now it's gotten to the point where I can do both. I can work one-on-one, I can do group sessions as well. And those, we'll get to that here in a bit, they won't be psychotherapy. That's going to be a whole nother realm of mental health.
Yeah.
But taking these concepts and bringing that podcast back and being able to talk about why binaries in any regard are not good. So it's talking about that either or thinking and
Being sure of this.
yep,
Yep.
and how we use that to create certainty and our addiction to certainty, especially as Americans and especially as white Americans, having an addiction to certainty and trying to predict the future and trying to make ourselves feel safer, even though we aren't safer than we really are. But breaking down those conversations and talking about those structures within our brains. So it's actually going to take, I guess, because it also is it's a topic right now, is the first podcast was around deconstruction.
Yes.
And that was not common knowledge to a lot of people.
Probably
Like
didn't
for
even know what
those
you
of
were
us,
talking about. Yeah.
yeah, for a lot of us who grew up in coercive situations or grew up, um, yeah, not uh, portraying who you really are on the inside. Those of us, we do know what deconstruction looks like, and we know what that word is, but the general public, it hadn't hit yet. So this has a huge element of deconstruction work. It has, talking about either or thinking, but more importantly, how do you contribute your authentic self to the world? And where people want me to bring this topic back is for them, they're seeing it as that's one way. It's the biggest way to fight fascism is to be an individual.
Right.
And your authentic self is an amazing way to do that. We just have to deconstruct some things so that authenticity can come out. And even now, like when someone, like, if you were looking at me, be like, who's the authentic Matt? I'll be like, my brain will freeze up and be like, who? What?
Right.
Who am I?
Right.
I call it my like Zoolander moment of like, who am I? Like, but having these topics, but also pulling in experts in their fields, whether it be psychiatry. We have some psychiatrists who will be on the show. And it's not just mental health. We have some social workers, but we also dive into topics that I have been so ignorantly blind about. And like, we have one guest who wants to come in and talk about how um, fetish culture is a privileged culture because, people who um, are into a fetish, not all of them can afford to be a part of that. And I know that sounds like a weird example, but when you break it down, you begin to see
It has its,
the white supremacy and that the patriarchy as well that we're built on, because even things like fetish is rooted in white supremacy and privilege. And so
this is going to be my face for much of it.
Yeah. But talking about how for a lot of these people, this is a form, like it's yet another form of expression. And so you know, and how you're shut off due to a lot of things, socioeconomical, what have you, from that form of expression. And so it's kind of all over the board, and I promise it'll make sense. We have it sorted down into topics. And then of course you always have open discussion. Like, you know, I want to reopen my Patreon and have people be able to
help out.
Like, and not just with money, but like, let's vote on some topics.
Yes.
Let's talk about open conversation.
Yes.
Yes, I started my deconstruction process 10 years ago, and they say it takes about 10 years to deconstruct. No, it's your life. Like,
right, because there's going to be new stuff that you find that you've.
Something happened yesterday. I was in a very serious meeting, and someone brought something up, and the whole room was grateful I did it, but I derailed the conversation because I just turned to this person. I was like, "Tell me more about that," because I had no idea, and I've been an asshole. Like, sorry, can we swear on this?
You are now. Yes. Listen,
now.
my kid is the first guy that said the F-bomb on here. It's all good.
And it's looking out about that like, and it's interesting to see how many people will come to soothe me when I say things like, I was an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, there's structures of knowing that, like, yes, we're ingrained in me with all of this, but that's not the excuse. I still did really asshole things.
Yeah. That's usually where mine starts is, I don't think I'm the good guy right now.
Yep.
I think I might be, in fact, the bad guy, right? Yeah.
And now it's that deconstruction work where it is hard is in a good way, is then, you know, changing it's one thing, but continue to make up for the asshole moves I've done, you know, and not make up. Gosh, I'm using the wrong words tonight, but like,
how's that the wrong word? You mean like making amends to something?
Making amends, but it's more than that. It's then
reprogramming.
Yeah. Okay. And like making sure that, not hiding that I was an asshole about that topic.
Is this why?